nervous system. I will tell you the important points of the first 5 pages. I'm gonna do every day 5 pages, and rest, if I do any mistake, you can let me know in the comment section. The motor efferent nervous system has two components, somatic and the autonomic. Basically, I'll tell you whole this whole para in short way. It's like a chart for me. I hope it helps for you. So this is efferent division. Efferent division, why? Because, okay, let me just start from the scratch. Okay, so basically it is our central nervous system, and this is our brain and spinal cord. And from here, can you see, it's like this is afferent division. Why? Because it's a input to CNS from the periphery, and this side brain, it goes to brain and spinal cord, and from there output from CNS to periphery, and that we call as efferent division. So what we're gonna study is this part. We're gonna study today efferent division. In this part, what comes is, so efferent divisions are of two types, somatic and autonomic. Basically, I'm sorry. So somatic is motor neurons, and in autonomic there are 3 kinds. I'm telling you this is sympathetic, parasympathetic, and enteric. Let me take another. Yes. So basically, I told you somatic, it's enteric division. Sorry, so it is efferent division. In efferent divisions, somatic and autonomic. In somatic, it's motor neurons. What are motor neurons? They are for, take it as skeletal muscles. Okay, so somatic nervous system is for motor neurons, and motor neurons skeletal muscles. Then here we come to the autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system is basically of 3 types, that is sympathetic, parasympathetic, and enteric. So in sympathetic and parasympathetic, there are few things which I'm going to tell you, where they are present basically. So smooth muscles, okay, cardiac muscles, exocrine glands, and you can say some endocrine glands too. These two, like sympathetic and parasympathetic, is this. Then you must be thinking, what is enteric? So enteric is a part of nervous system that is actually, it is basically a thing which is, okay, let me tell. So enteric is nothing, just it is like a stimuli to digestive tract. So it has only digestive organs. Enteric is only stimuli to digestive tract and it has only digestive organs. So basically I have, these are all effector organs. Like if I'll tell you, it's all effector organs. Can you see? These are all, if this, all the red portion is effector organs. Then we come to the other part. Here it is saying, see, somatic nervous system is a voluntary motor system. I told you it is of motor neurons. It is under conscious control. Then here the main point is, the cell body of the motor neuron is located in the central nervous system. I told you from the output from the CNS to the periphery goes, and that's why it is called as efferent division. And in efferent division, somatic nervous system comes, and autonomic. So that's why they are saying it is located in the central nervous system, in either the brainstem or spinal cord, and its axon synapses directly or skeletal muscle, on skeletal muscle, the effector organ. Skeletal muscle, I told you, motor neurons, and that is somatic nervous system, only skeletal muscles. They are the effector organs. Then neurotransmitter acetylcholine is released from presynaptic terminals of the motor neurons and activates nicotinic receptors located on the motor end plates of the skeletal muscle. This I'll tell you later. And here in autonomic nervous system, it is involuntary system. It controls and modulates the functions primarily of visceral organs. Remember that visceral organs means what? It's basically travels. See, here I told you the autonomic system, it's again output from the CNS to periphery. Here it's saying that again. You can see here they are saying it, neurons that travel to the periphery. So CNS to periphery, it's traveling. So it's, yeah, on visceral effector organ. I told you the visceral effector organ are smooth muscles, cardiac muscles. The same they're telling. Heart, bronchioles, vascular, smooth muscle, gastrointestinal tract, bladder, and genitalia. Then we come to this. Organization of general features of autonomic nervous system. The sympathetic and the parasympathetic, which comes in the autonomic nervous system, and also the enteric part, that is the third division here they mentioned. Enteric nervous system is what? Stimulus of digestive tract. It has only digestive organs. That's all. Here we have completed our first page of autonomic nervous system. Then we are coming to the second page. In second page they are telling us in diagrammatic thing that how somatic nervous system is included in comparison with, you know, somatic nervous system, sympathetic, parasympathetic, and adrenal. Okay, so we're coming somatic, that is motor neurons. It are motor neurons. They are basically, this is acetylcholine, and they are connected to nicotinic receptor, that is the skeletal muscle, which I told you this is the effector organ of somatic nervous system. Then some sympathetic nervous system, these two are in autonomic, these two are autonomic. And yeah, so sympathetic is preganglionic. And preganglionic, why? Because it is in preganglionic, it is saying that they are connected to acetylcholine and nicotinic 2 receptors. And then in postganglionic, they have alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2 receptors. These are the receptors, like you will get to know later in the chapter. And they are like smooth muscle glands. As I told you, that they affect sympathetic to smooth muscles, cardiac muscle, exocrine glands, or like that, sweat glands. Then postganglionic, from nicotinic 2 receptor to acetylcholine, they connect into the muscarinic receptor, that is sweat glands. And then we are here we are here to this parasympathetic, that is preganglionic, which connect to the acetylcholine receptors, that is nicotinic 2 receptors, and postganglionic to acetylcholine, and they also connected to smooth pattern glands. Then adrenal medulla, preganglionic acetylcholine nicotinic 2 receptor to circulation. Here we have to see the percentage. Mostly they ask this question: epinephrine and norepinephrine. What is the percentage? Norepinephrine is just 20% and epinephrine is to 80%. So always see that. Then the terminology. In terminology, basically there is nothing. Preganglionic neurons in sympathetic division, as you have seen here, it originated. So this here, this thing, sympathetic preganglionic, it is originated where? It is originated in thoracolumbar spinal cord. Thoracolumbar spinal cord. And preganglionic neurons in parasympathetic, they are originated in the brainstem and sacral spinal cord. You should remember this because it can come in the question. They have asked in questions like this: where is the origin of the sympathetic or parasympathetic division? So always remember, sympathetic division originates in the thoracolumbar spinal cord, and the parasympathetic originates in the brainstem and sacral spinal cord. Then the neurotransmitter they synthesize and release. Adrenergic neurons release norepinephrine. Always remember, norepinephrine is 20% and they are released by adrenergic neurons. And that's why they are called as adrenoreceptors. The effector organs are called adrenoreceptors. Then we come to cholinergic neurons. They release acetylcholine. That for and that those are called as cholinereceptors. Their term is also noradrenergic and non-cholinergic. Then we come to the another page. No, here it's like neuroeffector junctions of autonomic nervous system. So junctions between postganglionic autonomic system nervous neurons and their affected target tissues. The neuroeffector junctions are analogous to neuromuscular junctions of the somatic nervous system. There are, however, several structural and functional differences with neuromuscular junction. So what is basically neuromuscular junction? Neuromuscular junction is nothing but a chemical synapse between motor neurons and muscle fiber. They are like a signal, they need a chemical signal, and that's it. They are neuromuscular junction is nothing, it's like a synapse. It's a chemical synapse between motor neurons and muscle fiber. It's a connection, and they are like, they have neuron skeletal muscle connection. That's all, it's called as that. So if someone asks you what is neuromuscular junction, it's neuron skeletal muscle connection. That's it. Then here they have shown us like, what is this thing? Wait. Yeah. So here they have shown this spinal cord segments T1 to L3. Preganglionic, I told you this is sympathetic nervous system, thoracolumbar. I have discussed it is from T1 to L3. They have even mentioned the location, that is T1 to L3, thoracic 1 to lumbar 3. And then parasympathetic, they have given it S2 and S4, that is craniosacral. Remember that. And then location of autonomic ganglia, paravertebral and prevertebral is or this, that. These are the neuromuscular junction. As I said, this is the thing. After that, the main thing is sympathetic nervous system, which I have already told you. Sympathetic nervous system is nothing. It just like, sympathetic nervous system is basically fight or flight. It effector organs are smooth muscle, cardiac muscles, like some endocrine glands and some exocrine glands. And what happens in the sympathetic nervous system? Sympathetic nervous system does, what it does is, it increases the blood pressure. Just imagine if you're you fight someone or you are scared of something, your blood pressure will increase. And that is what the sympathetic nervous system, if you're fighting, your blood pressure, it will increase, your arterial pressure increase, your blood flow to the active muscles increase, your metabolic rate increase, your glucose concentration, everything. And that is why it will, that is why it's called sympathetic. Always remember that sympathetic is when you fight. Always remember that with word fight and flight. Then there is one category of preganglionic neuron synapses or postganglion. It is paravertebral ganglia. The example, superior cervical ganglia of the sympathetic chain. Then there is prevertebral ganglia. Here we have seen paravertebral, and here it is prevertebral ganglia. This is like superior mesenteric. In this it was superior cervical ganglion, and then is in this it is superior mesenteric, inferior mesenteric ganglion. Then we come to the third page of sympathetic nervous system. They have explained it in a very diagrammatic way, like it is the innervations they have shown, like how it is innervated and where. So here you see superior cervical ganglion. Again I need to say you superior cervical ganglion. See here. So superior cervical ganglion, they have shown this thing. Can you see? It's, yeah, paravertebral ganglia. Superior cervical ganglia, they have shown it as here, and that is this thing. And where it goes, first it goes to lacrimal gland, radial muscle, and that dilates the pupil and tarsal muscles. And the second, it goes to the submandibular and sublingual glands, and then parotid glands. There are so many innovations, you can see heart. And then it's all connected, like preganglionic neurons, they originate in thoracic and lumbar segments, which I have already discussed. T1 and L3, that is the location of sympathetic nervous system. Never forget that. T1 and L3, which we call as thoracic, lumbar, thoracolumbar. Like, just remember it like that. It is thoracolumbar. Just see, it is that spinal cord segment. Then here you can see in this chart where all the innovations are, and you can remember it. Then we come to to this page, and it is like saying the origin of preganglionic neurons, that is thoracolumbar, as we have read already, from T1 to L3. Then it is like they have shown the examples here. Example, heart, upper thoracic spinal cord, they are originating. And then in the pelvis, example, that is like they have preganglionic neurons and they originate in the lumbar spinal cord. Then the location of autonomic ganglia. So ganglia of sympathetic nervous system are located near the spinal cord, either in the paravertebral ganglia or in the prevertebral ganglia, which I have already discussed. So superior cervical ganglion projects to organs in the head such as the eye and the salivary glands. Then here they have shown the location, as you can see, adrenal medulla, simply, here, they whose preganglionic neurons originate in the thoracic spinal cord, that is T5, thoracic 5 to thoracic 9. They pass through the sympathetic chain. It's nothing to remember, but at least you should know this. And then length of preganglionic and postganglionic axons. Here, because of the sympathetic ganglia located near the spinal cord, the preganglionic nerve axons are short and the postganglionic nerve axons are long, so that postganglionic nerves can reach the peripheral effector organs for innervation. The neurotransmitters and type of receptors. Neurotransmitters, preganglionic neurons of the sympathetic division, are always cholinergic, as we have discussed. They release acetylcholine, which interacts with nicotinic N2 receptors, as we have seen in the second page of the diagram. I'll show you guys again. Here, you have seen this preganglionic acetylcholine to nicotinic 2 receptors, and the postganglionic to the, again, alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2 receptors, the smooth glands, and here it is muscarinic receptors. So that's what they are talking about here. And then see, here I've shown you they have the following types of they have this following types of adrenoreceptors: alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2. They are all thermoregulatory sweat glands innervated by sympathetic cholinergic neurons, have muscarinic cholinereceptors. As I've showed you here, see, the muscarinic sweat glands, and smooth muscle glands is here. It's norepinephrine, and this is acetylcholine. This is muscarinic, and this is alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2. So always never forget that. Always remember this picture so that whenever you see, you just remember this picture and everything becomes easy. You can see it, it's very easy if you remember this picture. It's like you can just get the answer very quickly. So then the sympathetic adrenergic varicosities, that is, they release sympathetic postganglionic adrenergic nerve. They release their neurotransmitters from onto their target tissues like vascular smooth muscles. Then the classic neurotransmitter norepinephrine is synthesized from tyrosine in the vasculocities and stored in the small dense core vesicles. Then a separate group of large dense core vesicle contains neuropeptide Y. Then, when sympathetic postganglionic adrenergic neurons are stimulated, norepinephrine and ATP are released from the small dense core vesicles to both norepinephrine and ATP. So, guys, if you're getting confused between, what is preganglionic and postganglionic, because here they have been using it, this term postganglionic and preganglionic. So let me explain you this. It can make your thing easy. So here it is. So preganglionic and postganglionic. So preganglionic they arise from the CNS and supply ganglia, and the postganglionic is they arise from the ganglia and they supply to tissues. Okay, here I have one picture also. Here you can see this picture. So in this picture they have shown, it's not visible, I'm sorry, I don't know, this picture didn't come. Yeah, so like this brain stem you can see. Yeah, so like this brain stem, cranial nerve, and this is peripheral nervous system, and it's CNS. Wait. Okay. So brainstem, and then this is cranial nerve. So cranial nerve, that is preganglionic neurons from pelvic. See, here from brainstem, cranial nerve, that it's going to the effector organ, and then here it is preganglionic pelvic nerve you can see, then sacral spinal cord, and here postganglionic it becomes. So that is what. So from here to here, as I have said, they arise from CNS and supply ganglia. See, they are arising from here CNS and they are supplying the ganglia, that is preganglionic here, and the one which is here, see, arise from ganglia and supply the tissues are what? They are postganglionic. You can see it very clearly here. So that's why I thought to show you the picture. Then here it is, they have shown you like how preganglionic is, like they're supplying the ganglia, and how ganglia is supplying the effector organs. So this is postganglionic because it's supplying from CNS to ganglia. Yeah, so it is supplying to ganglia, so it is preganglionic, and from ganglia to tissues, that is effector organs, is postganglionic. So I hope you understood the pre and postganglionic. So now we are coming to this adrenal medulla. That is, the adrenal medulla is a specialized ganglion in the sympathetic division of the autonomic nervous system. The cell bodies of its preganglionic neurons are located in the thoracic spinal cord. The axons of these preganglionic neurons, preganglionic I told you, which are from CNS to ganglia, the nerves who supply, they travel in the great splanchnic nerve to the adrenal medulla, where they synapse on chromaffin cells. Always remember, what if in ever they ask you what cells releases acetylcholine, that is chromaffin cells. And further they activate nicotinic receptors. It's given here. Then when they activate the chromaffin cells of the adrenal medulla, they secrete catecholamines, that is epinephrine and norepinephrine. So epinephrine and norepinephrine, and then into the general circulation. In contrast with sympathetic postganglionic neurons, which release only norepinephrine, the adrenal medulla. So epinephrine here is 80% and norepinephrine is 20%. Always remember that. The percentage, always remember. So what happens after the chromaffin cells? They secrete nicotinic receptors, they are activated, then they secrete catecholamines, that is the epinephrine and norepinephrine. And the reason for the difference in the presence of, is the difference between this epinephrine and norepinephrine, they are telling that is the presence of phenyl ethanol amine N methyl transferase in the adrenal medulla, but not in the sympathetic postganglionic adrenal neurons. Then, a tumor in the adrenal medulla or pheochromocytoma may be located on or near the adrenal medulla or at a distant ectopic location in the body. They secrete mainly epinephrine. A pheochromocytoma secretes mainly norepinephrine. Always remember that. Pheochromocytoma secretes mainly norepinephrine. Always. Then I told you fight and flight response, that is sympathetic. A body response. They're actually explaining it. What is fight and flight response? That is sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic response. So it is actually when a body responds to fear, extreme stress, and intense exercise with a massive coordinated activation of the sympathetic nervous system, including the adrenal medulla. The activation, the fight or flight response, ensures that the body can respond appropriately to the stressful situation, like take a difficult exam, run away from a burning house, fight an attacker, or something like that. Then, what happens basically? It will increase your heart rate, it will increase your blood pressure, your metabolic rate, your glucose levels, you'll be more alert and everything like that. They will increase ventilation and dilate the airways, decrease gastrointestinal motility secretion, it increase blood glucose and concentration. So that's the thing. Now here we're gonna read this case.